Hello, welcome to a new video. So, I wanted to show you what my newest project is. Okay, so hi, welcome to a new video. So I wanted to show you guys what I'm going to be doing here. These used to be different panels for an Inktober illustrations that I was doing, and I didn't continue with it, and so I really just wanted to use the paper to paint on top. It's something that I enjoy doing lately. I like to paint on top of things that I've already created. I don't know why, I just like doing that. And so I thought I could do either one big motif and then have it divided into 4 different panels, or at the same time paint 4 things. So I'm going to be deciding. I have a lot of reference pictures, and I'm going to be picking something from that and then painting on here. Mixed media, I think. And so I thought I would have you guys here with me, keeping me company as I paint.
So as you can see, I have added a light layer of gesso. You can still see somewhat the illustrations. The original illustrations were made with ink and some Ecoline liquid watercolors. After allowing the gesso to dry, I am adding just a base layer of acrylic inks just to have something on the page, some like guides of where and what I want to have on there. I'm using very vibrant colors. Pretty much all of these acrylic inks from Sennelier are very, very vibrant. I love using them. I like to use them in the beginning of acrylic pieces and also to do washes. I use them all the time. Right here you can see my favorite color, which is this fluorescent neon orange. I love it. I absolutely love it. The brighter the better. So I'm using yellow, I'm using turquoise, this fluorescent orange. I also have green that I'll be adding. I decided to paint some colorful tulips, and I really wanted to just let myself go and create very expressive strokes on these pages, because really, who cares? It's not like there's any pressure to create some wonderful masterpiece. And if I put that in my mind in the moment of creating, I will be completely blocked and I won't be able to create anything. So I just freely add some water to these pages. I'm using this little mini roller. It's from my son's art set, but it's quite practical because the sponge on it creates an even layer of water. And then I start adding the lightest color, which is the yellow, and go on from there. I'm looking at my reference pictures as I do this, and I'm just creating like a general shape of each tulip. There are 4 individual, very colorful tulips, and I love tulips. To me, they symbolize Easter. They're absolutely gorgeous. Unfortunately, they don't last very long when they appear. It's a sign that spring is there, and very much so there. And you see these beautiful, large petals, and then they just disappear, unfortunately. It's a fleeting moment of beauty that nature gives us with tulips. So I thought, what a perfect thing to paint. These momentary bursts of joy that I feel whenever I paint. Just already the sensation of putting paint on paper. Oh, I just don't know how to explain it. It's just so riveting and wonderful. I feel so alive. And I absolutely love the color of this water. I love that color. So yeah, so this is the first part of the painting, and then obviously, I need to let it dry for a bit. I go back and forth and I'll add more colors, the turquoise. When you add it with this orange, it creates this really great neutral gray, which is lovely. I love mixing the turquoise with other colors as well. But it's just to give an outline, just to know where I'm putting things, because sometimes if I'm painting on a white page, it's just too white, and it'll like, I'm going to sound very dramatic, but it'll like scare my thoughts away. So then I don't know exactly what to do on the page. But this way, you can put anything down, really. You could just put a base color of absolutely anything, and since you're using acrylics, you just paint over it. As I've said before, you could write stuff on the back. You could paint something really poorly, and then paint over it. There's anything you could do. You could really just scratch up the page and create texture. The options are limitless. And that's the wonderful thing about art. You can do anything. And just as long as you free yourself to allow anything to happen, you become more creatively alive and you're able to create more meaningful pieces because they demonstrate the true presence of that moment instead of a deliberate creation of point A to point B and you need to create this exactly. No, if you're creating freely and just allowing whatever wants to come out, your pieces will really reflect that. And that is why we are so attracted to these great masters of art. Like, because you just feel how they felt in that moment when they were creating it. And I think that's the real sense of art, to be able to connect with someone else. For just an instant, be in their shoes. And you get to know a person better that way. And isn't that like the whole purpose? To understand people? To see life from their perspective? Here I'm becoming very philosophical. But so I'm adding some red and purple now. I used the purple to do some line work on one of the tulips that I saw had very stark purple lines. The other ones didn't really have that purple color in them. And I tried to choose 4 different color families, you could say. I mean, they all tend to have yellows and pinks and greens, obviously, but some of them had more reds or more greens or more blues. One was very pink and green, and so I really wanted the variation, not all the same. But I like to look at the reference picture when I'm doing this. I do need the guidance of a reference picture when I'm painting. Of course, if it's something more like children's lit where I can pretty much create anything, then I don't really pay attention to reference pictures. I might have like a guideline for the setting or for a certain pose that the character is going to be in. But in those instances, I actually prefer not to have very rigid reference pictures, because then I can't really allow that childlike imagination to come about to create these characters or like fantastical creations. While if it's more of an expressionistic or realistic portrayal, I really do need that reference picture to be able to create. But as you can see here, as I said in my previous video, I'm just enjoying the silence. I have nothing on currently. I'm just trying to really be there. This sounds really cringy, but it's the truth. I was really trying to be present. And, well, since it's vacation time, it was a gift of a moment where I was able to just pay attention to the page and the paint and not to anything else. And afterwards, after this painting session, I just felt so much better. It's like there's this weight that is removed and I'm able to focus better. And yeah, because it's like I recharged my batteries. That's what painting does. It really allows me to recharge.
Okay, so I did 4 studies of colorful tulips in a very expressionism style, which I've been loving to do with flowers. In these 3, I actually added some of the charcoal powder that I have. It gives it this really nice gritty feeling. So I still need to spray fixative on them before I can put a varnish. So yeah, so let me give you a closer look. So here they are all together. I'm quite happy with them. Alright, so that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching me work. See you in the next one. Bye guys.